If a man is 40 and over and he's not married, he's a no man.
Because there are a lot of women who do use kids as a weapon against the dads.
This is the story of how my Thai girlfriend saved my life. She decided to go out of her way to take me to hospital. Come to hospital then and there, I would have most likely had a heart attack and wouldn't have survived.
Man. Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Get ready with me while I tell you a story about a guy that left me in the middle of the night. So a guy friend and I were talking about the fact that we hadn't had any dates recently, and this was like kind of COVID times, so it was just like couldn't be bothered to meet people sort of thing. And we were like, well, why don't we just set each other up with a friend? And if you can take away one thing from this story, it's don't set your friends up with other people unless you are 100% that they're going to get along. Anyways, so we went on a date to Bondi. It was like totally fine. We like had a few drinks there. We went to Coogee, like amazing, great times. Let's just say like things went well, so he came back to my place. And then he decided to stay over. Now, I can't remember timings exactly, but like let's say that we went to bed at like midnight.
Try to stay over. She had to let him. She let him smash. Let her continue.
I woke up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god, that is so weird. Like this guy, like he's not here anymore. Like maybe he just like went to the bathroom. And I was kind of like aware, so I was like staying up. And then maybe like 5, 10 minutes later, I was like, oh, like where is he, sort of thing. So I like peeked up out of bed, and none of his stuff was there. Like he'd just taken it, like I don't know, clothes, wallet, keys, like no sign of him, just like disappeared. And so I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe he left. So like I checked my phone, no message. I kind of checked around like my room to see if, I don't know, he'd like left a note. But like literally nothing. And I was like, where has this guy gone? And I was like, does he have like a sleepwalking problem? And he's like, I don't know, just walked off in the middle of the night, because that happened to me with a separate ex. Total different story. I can go into that another time. And I was like, literally, where has this man gone? Like, not a single piece of communication. The morning comes and goes, and there's like literally, again, not a sign of a message from him. So I messaged his friend, and I'm like, hey, like, just checking, like, old mate's alive. And he was like, oh yeah, like, he messaged me. He had like a bunch of no-dos, and we had espresso martinis, so he couldn't sleep, so he just went home. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. But like, you know, a little message like wouldn't hurt anybody. Anyways, I did hear from him. A week later, he messages me and he's like, hey, so sorry, and explained the situation about why he left, and was like, anyways, do you want to get a drink sometime soon? Like, no, I do not want to get a drink sometime soon. What the?
I thought it was COVID. I thought it was lonely times. I mean, she redeemed herself. I thought she let the guy smash and he left. I was going to say, wham, bam, thank you, man. But that wasn't the case. But listen, the man didn't want to wake you up in the middle of the night. That's why he didn't message you. Now, as a man, I can say this. I would have messaged you back. But sometimes guys can get forgetful, right? He may not have been thinking about it. He may be thinking it's not such a big deal. Is she off for holding him to it so hard when it's COVID? Like, I don't know. But if you'd have been, thank you, ma'am, that'd have been good on his part.
Things to observe and watch is different energies, masculine energy, feminine energy, in myself and also in the people around me. So tonight I'm at a club/bar, and I'm super just like flowy, dancing the whole time, and I realize I'm not approached by any men. So my old way of being is like, okay, just go into your masculine energy and go up to them and do what you have to do. So in me, what happened was my energy just got like extra, and I was like overpowered energy, and I was using that, and like millions of guys were talking to me. No guys that I wanted, but they were just easy to talk to because I just gave them energy. And after a while, I just got like what am I doing? Like, I feel drained right now. So I went and sat down, and I was observing it keep on coming up and trying to fix the situation. I just watched it. And then I sat down, and I was like, was like, I'm going mad. And so I went up to this guy who was just dancing, and I was like, and I just told him why, like, what was going on in my mind. And this is what he said to me. This is the whole point of me making this video. He said, the reason why, well, first he came for my shoulders. She's almost done. Came for my not smiling. And he says the reason why men don't approach you and the whole problem with women is because women are looking for a guy to take care of them. They are raised to believe that guys should take care of them. And I was like, well, I don't know what generation you're in, because a lot of women in my generation make a lot of money. And he's like, and they make a lot of money and they still want guys to take care of them. Is that true? And I'm somebody that had this in my consciousness. This was something that needed to be brought to the surface, right? Because I've been struggling with this. And I was like, yeah. And he started dancing. He had like a happy dance. And I was like, and then we had a conversation and finished it off. And it ended with me feeling so healed and be patient, secure within my feminine energy. And I was just so grateful, because through that conversation he brought his masculine energy into me. And yeah, it wasn't an easy conversation. He came for my throat, but I didn't get defensive. I just stood there and listened, because I knew it was a healing moment for me. And yeah, I just danced, smiled it out, and I left, and here I am now. So I'm just sharing that because I feel like, hey, maybe it will help somebody else that, it's just maybe you're a really pretty girl and guys don't approach you, or this might be something that's in your consciousness. And yeah.
Finally. That was great. Right? You didn't hear her complaining, oh, guys aren't approaching me. I'm smiling at guys. She laced up bootstraps, got out there on her dance floor, and talked to guys. She felt masculine, but she said, I'm going to do it. She was sitting back, waited for a little longer. Guys weren't talking to her. She jumped up, strapped them up, kept doing it. And then a guy told her why. And she accepted it. That woman don't got a shot. She has a shot, right? As long as she remains humble. That was a humble statement, humble reaction. She was in her feminine energy. She didn't realize it. She tried talking to guys. I'm sure she was like, yeah, what's up, bro? Give me your phone number, right? She felt masculine, but congratulations. This is what most more women need to do. Seriously. More women need to do this. Talk to guys, try. And the guy's going to talk back to you. And he danced with you. You had a good time. Sounds like you had fun. Learning experience. I think a lot of women can learn from this, right? Forget all of the, woman agreeing with men or saying men statements. This right here was a woman in the field that was humbled and that see what men go through. Right on, sister. Right on.
It's because there are a lot of women who do use kids as a weapon against the dads. My feelings is that if your children are not at harm, physical or emotional harm in any way, shape or form by being with their dad, whatever issues you have with the dad, that should not impact whether your child sees their dad or not. I don't agree with children being used as weapons against the other parent. I don't agree with parents being withheld from seeing their children, because a lot of the time it's hurt and bitterness from one side or ego from the other side. And at the end of the day, the only person who ends up being affected the most is the children. But there are a lot of dads who don't have access to their children. And unfortunately, the court system in this country does tend to favour mums.
Well, they do mostly. Every country, right? That's just the way it is. Guys have bitten the bullet and have accepted it. I know I did when I bumped into my issues, and I accepted it, and all we can do is move on, stay strong, hold our head up, and keep striving, right? Because the laws aren't changing. But what can we do? Are we gonna sit around complaining? Yeah, I'm making a video about it. But this is not complaining. This is me stating facts of what's going on in the world. And guys know, and we accept it because we have no choice. Must move on, must stay strong.
Through their own life stages. Men. I'm not talking about boys. Because you have some men that are 40 years old and they should already be in the king stage. King stage means that he's already financially stable. He's already at a place where he has built his home, or he is ready to build his home. He is ready to get married. This is the reason why I say if a man is 40 and over and he's not married, he's a no man, okay? 9 times out of 10, there's always exceptions, okay? But I'm talking about it as a general rule. Man is 40 and over, and he is not seriously dating somebody with the intentions of marrying her. He just been jumping from one relationship to another. He's damaged goods. Emotionally stagnant, stuck in the childish night stage.
How do you figure that? How are you going to tell a man what a man is? That's another statement. That's another video of that. A woman trying to tell a man what a man is, right? Men go through it. With the way things are nowadays, a lot of men are single. Why? Because men are going their own way. They have no choice but to. Men don't see the benefit in marriage. It doesn't benefit them to marry. It doesn't benefit men to be super lovey-dovey. It doesn't benefit men a lot of times to approach women, right? And what it is, a lot of men's confidence have been killed. So that's what's going on nowadays. You do have some men that are in that king stage, but you have some that aren't. But I'll tell all men this. If a man is watching right now and he's not in his king stage, do what needs to be done to get there. Do what needs to be done to get there. And like me, for instance, I'm married. I was married at 34, but it took me a while to figure out what I need to do to put myself in that king stage. But now I'm on the way there now, and I'm not even in my king stage yet. I have the king mentality. I somewhat am, but when I get there, I'm bringing all of you guys along with me. I'm pretty much there. But who's a woman to depict if a man is in his king stage? Think about it. If a man feels like he's a king, if he feels his home is in order, his house is in order, his affairs are in order, then he's in his king stage. Me, I'm being hard on myself. I look at king stage to myself as being rich. I'm not there yet. That's king stage to me. And yes, by any means, I will get there.
This is the story of how my Thai girlfriend saved my life. So this actually happened a few months ago. I was here in Bangkok and I was feeling quite ill. My head was pounding, I was coughing non-stop. So she decided to go out of her way to take me to hospital. So I ended up seeing a doctor and I was diagnosed with an upper respiratory infection. So this wasn't too dangerous, but they decided to prescribe me some medication. And they gave me a bunch of different medicines, some of which I can't even name. But they gave me this one antibiotic that I'd never had before. So after the hospital visit, me and Alyssa, my girlfriend, decided to get some lunch. And bless her, she paid for all the food as well. And after I ate, I decided to take the antibiotics. I went back home and then about 30 minutes later, I went into anaphylactic shock. I hope I pronounced that right. But my heart was pounding and my heart rate was through the roof. All across my body, I was itching, my skin started swelling up and I started getting spots everywhere. I genuinely never felt something this bad before. And I felt like something very bad was about to happen to me. Now, I was planning to try and sleep it off. But by the grace of God, Alyssa decides to call me up. And luckily, it was a video call. And as soon as she saw my face and heard my symptoms, her voice changed. She said I had to go to hospital. I could tell she was serious. She even told me that the same thing happened to her father and he decided to try and sleep it off. Unfortunately, he ended up passing away because of that. So I then rushed to hospital, and as soon as I get there, the nurses look at me with horror in their face. They literally drop everything they're doing, rush me to a bed, and inject me with like 3 different things. After this, I was alright, and then the doctor came to see me. And this is exactly what they told me. If I hadn't come to hospital then and there, I would have most likely had a heart attack and wouldn't have survived. And I'll be honest, this really freaked me out. So Alyssa, my girlfriend, thank you very much for saving my life.
Wow. Wow. You know what's wild, right? How she saved him. Same thing happened to her father, she said, right? Was her father? She said went to sleep, same thing, and passed. Life experiences, boy. And she had him. She paid for stuff for him, right? He wasn't paying for her. Like, she wasn't sitting around, oh, I need you to take care of me. Like you hear women say. I was listening to certain points in the story, the important parts, right? She helped him because she knew what was happening. She gave him money. Same thing I seen. I got to interview this guy soon, too. I got to send him over some questions. The brother Low to the max, right? Because I'm finding like, oh, this is what I know about Thailand. I know a lot of guys, they go to the city areas and end up dealing with women that are for the night or women that are using them for money. But you have very select few guys that go out there and find women for them. You usually hear about that more about the Philippines. But there are guys going out to Thailand and finding gems. I love to see it because I'm a big believer in a man can go anywhere and find love. I'm a big believer in passport bros can scour anywhere in the world and find love. It's facts. Even in places where it's not desirable, maybe not a desirable climate, guy can still go there and find happiness. But I'm happy this man, she actually saved his life. Congrats on you, man. You got a good one. Man, now you wouldn't believe that this thick thingamajigger is from Japan. Yes, guys. This is how they make some of them. They make them like this everywhere in the world. And guys, things have changed. Guys really have no problem leaving to find something like this. Because we all realize,
This is the way.
Passport bros, passport, no. It's definitely more to life than dealing with that nonsense back home.
Hold the line. Stay with me.